Hello, my name is Brenna Hose. Here's a little bit about me. I am a freshman at Alma College. I love my friends, I love my family, and I absolutely love to travel. First, let me begin by explaining the criterion referenced. Criterion reference is a set of assessments that are designed to measure students' performance against a fixed set of predetermined criteria or learning standards. In a classroom, this would be like the children taking the Brigance, math, or reading tests. Next is formative and summative assessment. A formative assessment is an assessment procedures that are employed by teachers during the learning process in order to modify teaching and learning activities to improve student knowledge of the subject. So these are tests that teachers would give during the lesson and throughout the lesson. Summative assessments are assessments of students where the focus is on the outcome of the chapter, not the lesson, like formative assessments. So this would be over a chapter test and not just a little test given in between. Triangulation is multiple means of assessment. As you can see in the chart, a student has made progress throughout the year. In September, the student couldn't get past the second grade level because she got less than 80% right. In January, the student started at the second grade level and got more than 80%, so we moved on to the third grade level, but she stopped because of the lack of 80% or better. In May, we gave the test again, and we started the student in third grade because they had already passed the other two grades. And we moved her up to fourth grade, but she did not receive an 80% on the material. A reason for this, I believe, is because she did not have a number line. If she had a number line in the material, then she would have passed and moved on. The Brigance math placement is given to a student 3 times a year. You sit in a quiet environment and read the directions to the student while maybe pointing some things out if the directions specify. The results from the Brigance math test taken by the student will be helpful in planning useful instruction. This is because you know the level that the child is at and you know how to individualize the lesson plan for that child based off of their scores. Because this child only scored up to 4th grade and didn't pass the 4th grade, lessons will be individualized for her based off of what is on the Brigance math test, which is things like getting fractions from a set of groups, or using the greater than or less than symbols, and ordering fractions from greatest to least. She did fine on this is also the 3rd grade, but she did fine on multiplying and using and knowing what shapes these are, but she also struggled with finding greater than or less than. So you can individualize a lesson for her to teach her and guide her the steps that are easy for her to understand.
Hello. Today we are going to learn how to divide fractions. But first, let's review what we already know. Our first rule was to multiply straight across So this means if I had a fraction, like 2 over 5, we are going to multiply that by 2 over 7. And we would get, because we have to multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom. So 2 times 2 would give us 4. Over 5 times 7 is 35. Now, to divide fractions, our rule is dividing fractions as easy as pie. Flip the second and multiply. So our second rule is going to be flip the second. So if we have the same fraction, 2 over 5 divided by 2 over 7, our rule is dividing fractions is as easy as pie. Flip the second and multiply. So this is our second number. So we're going to flip that. So we're going to have 2 over 5 divided by 7 over 2. And then we're going to do just straight across again, because that's how we multiply. So we're going to get 2 times 7 is 14 over 5 times 2, which is 10. You're going to get a mixed fraction as your answer.
That will help me become a better teacher in the future. I have learned that individualized lesson plans and teachings will help the students succeed by giving them the information that they need at their level. Also, even though a student is in a special education room, it doesn't mean that they aren't smart. It just means that they may need a little extra help along the way to help them succeed. The Learning Difficulties article states that students that have a difficulty in reading will also struggle in math. This is because a vital key of visualization is missing. When math teaches children to do word problems that require the students to visualize the situation, they struggle. The article recommends that students get early intervention to help catch them up. Response to it was created to assess the student's needs and apply intervention. From this information, they develop a plan of instruction for the child that they think will be most effective for the child. This relates to what I've been learning while teaching kids with special needs. This is because a one-on-one individualized education is what will help these kids succeed.